I'm the Godot guy, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to create a simple first-person 3D character in Godot 4.2. Now to start this off, I'm going to assume you already have Godot 4.2 or past that installed. As you can see down here, I have 4.2.1. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create our floor for our player to stand on. We're going to be doing that by grabbing this, called a Mesh Instance 3D, which is just a bunch of shapes. Like I got a cube, I got a triangle, there you can even write text in 3D. As you can see right there, that says hello. But that's not what we're gonna be doing. We're gonna be just using a normal box. Now, first thing we want to do is make it like a floor, because this is not enough space for a player to walk on. We're gonna come over here and we're gonna set the Y value to 0, because we won't be going under it, we'll only be going on the top. Now we're gonna make this X and Z sides 10 and 10. You can make them however long you want. You can make it bigger, but for now I'm going to keep it 10 by 10. Now, in other tutorials, they would now tell you to grab a static body, and then a collision shape, and then put it there, and then spend a long time putting it all together. But there's a very easy way around this. Just click on the mesh instance, come over to this little thing called mesh, create trimesh static body, and your collision shape will be handled for you. It's hard to see here because it's so flat, but if you look under these blue lines here, from there to here is the collision. So we now have a floor for our player to stand on. Now, pressing Ctrl S to save will bring us to this menu. We're going to save it as floor. Oh. Now we have our floor. We're going to head over to here, and now we're going to create our player. We're going to start by grabbing something called a character body 3D, which is just a player. It's pretty simple. Now we're gonna do the mesh again, and we're gonna make it a cylinder this time. I think I'm gonna make it like a little let's see, you know what, we'll just keep it simple for now. We'll keep it like this. So now, for this one, we're gonna have to use custom collision shape, because it's kind of wonky. You can't do that mesh and then press here, because if we quickly remove it, you'll see this node has no shape, so it can't collide or interact with other objects. So we're gonna have to create a new one. And we're gonna make another cylinder, and when we lift it, oh, that's weird, it should just be going up like this. You'll see they line up perfectly, and that's kind of it. But you now have to add a camera. So you want to bring it to the height level. Yeah, I'd say there's good for me. If you come down here, this is the position if you want to copy mine. We're now going to click onto the character body, and we're going to go over to this button here with a little script, like piece of paper and a plus icon. Now this is going to attach a node script to this character. Now we can name it whatever we want. I'm going to name it player 2 for tutorial. Now when you get in here, you're going to get this code already there, because when you create a script with a character body, this comes in on default. But we're not going to be using this one. Ooh, man, this is going crazy. We're going to be using this script, and it's kind of like the last script, but we've added this called function input. Oh, it disappeared when I pressed that. This is pretty simple. If event is input mouse motion, means if you move your mouse and mouse mode equals captured, to keep your mouse in the middle of the screen so it doesn't go off and your character stops turning, then we'll rotate the y-axis, which is up and down, negative event relative x, which is left and right, multiplied by mouse sensitivity. This value here lets you decide how fast you want your character to spin. Now, that would be it, but let me show you. If we go into the game here, quickly comment this, save it as player. If we bring the player here onto our floor, if we bring them up, we're gonna not be able to move or jump. This is because we didn't set our input. Now, if you come here, you'll see we have 5 inputs: left, right, forward, back, and jump. We're gonna put those in. Left, right, forward, back, jump. Now you can set these to whatever you want. I'm going to be setting it to A, D, W, S, and space. So to add a button here, you're going to press this plus icon and press whatever key that you want it to set it to. Now that that's done, we're going to save the game by pressing Control S again, and we're going to press the play button. Now, as you can see, we're able to walk around and jump. But before that last line of code I removed, now you can see we can just move our camera 360 degrees, which isn't natural because you can't look upside down like that. So what this part of the code does here is stop it from going upside down. It stops rotating once it gets to 70 degrees or negative 70 degrees. Now if we come here, you'll see that we're now unable to go upside down, and our player is finished. We've completed our player. Now this script will be down in the comments as a Google Doc that you can copy and paste, and I just wanted to go through and explain everything that's in the script so you're able to edit it however you want. Now, these 4 here are our variables. We already talked about mouse sensitivity, so we won't talk about this one. But these 3 are pretty obvious. This one is gravity. So gravity equals project settings dot get setting. So to do that, we go to project settings and we find under physics 3D, and we'll see default gravity is 9.8. So we can adjust this however we want, but I'm going to be keeping it at 9.8. Now speed, this is how fast we go, and jump speed is how high and fast we jump. Now this right here, we never set this. This is optional and won't actually be on the Google Doc, so I'll remove it. This basically says if you press E, which can be whatever you want, I set E to escape, your mouse will appear on the screen and it will let you exit out of the game. Now we're on to the part that actually makes our player move. This part right here. And this little guy down here. So velocity y equals negative gravity times delta. So what this is saying here is if we're not on the floor, gravity will push us down every second or frame. Delta means every frame in Godot. So when you put delta there, it will happen every frame. Now, var input, or variable input, basically just sets what buttons we press to move. So, if I set this, we already set this in the project settings, right here, left, right, forward, and back. This is just the line of code that will put it into the script and actually let you use those buttons. Now, variable movement dir, or movement direction, equals transform basis, which is the same as saying your position, multiplied by vector 3. Now, vector 3 is velocity in a 3D environment. So, if I were to say vector 2D, our character would only be able to move in 2D dimension. It would only be able to go forward, back, left, and right. But since I set it to vector 3, it's able to go in every direction in a 3D space. Now, input.x, x is left and right. Z we have set to 0 because the x coordinate and the z coordinate are the same, because when you look around, x becomes z and z becomes x. Now input y is the forward and backwards. This code right here gives us, basically tells the game, hey, your player has moved, but it doesn't actually move it. This is where it comes in. Velocity.x and z, which will move our character forward, backwards, left, and right. And it brings this code in, so movement direction x and movement direction z, it's nothing, but you have to multiply it by another variable, this variable being speed, for it to actually move. This right here is built into Godot. This is move and slide. It basically puts all of this that we put here and puts it into the game. So that's it. This is how our character moves. It jumps by doing the same thing here, up here, but upwards instead of left and right and forward and backwards. So if you're on the floor and you press the jump button, which I set to space, velocity y equals jump speed, which is 5. So you'll go up 5 meters, and depending on how high you set it, you'll go up higher and faster. So that's it. that's how you create a first-person 3D character in Godot 4.2. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. Or if you want to see any more tutorials, like maybe how to make a 2D character. Thank you so much for watching. This has been the Godot Guy. I'll see you next time.